Good morning. My name is Donna Rosillo. I am the Chief of Community Development and Civic Engagement, formerly known as Voluntary Service. I'd like to welcome you to our Veterans Day program. If you would all stand and remain standing. And Mr. Connell, if you would come up and give the command to hoist the colors.
Colors! Host! Post. Recover. And salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready? Two. Detail. Retire.
Let us pray. Divine Creator, Giver of peace, we gather in celebration, honor, and remembrance of those who at home or abroad, by land, by sea, or in the air, have served and continue to serve, and to those who have paid the ultimate price and laid down their lives to protect and defend our freedoms. May their sacrifices be a beacon of hope for generations to come. As we celebrate, let us not forget the families of the service members and veterans who continue to mourn and live in the sacrifice of having served. We hold them in perpetual peace and speak comfort to their presence. We ask continuous protection and spiritual strength to all who are represented here today. May the sustainer of mankind remove illness and cure disease. May we be free from inner and outer harm. May we be happy and peaceful. Allow our salute to the one who is the lamplight that brings prosperity and good health, that we may be granted a cure that leaves no illness. May these words penetrate our hearts and speak to us, mind, body, and soul, now and forevermore. Amen.
Please be seated. And now I'd like to ask our director, Mr. Lawrence Connell, to come up and say a few words.
Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Chapman, for those words of wisdom, no doubt. Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful day. The sun finally popped out. I was getting a little concerned it was going to snow here, but looks like we'll be okay today. Let me pull out my remarks here. Again, thanks, everybody, for coming to the Veterans Celebration event here at the Providence VA during Veterans Week. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't wish the Marines in the audience happy birthday to the Marine Corps, 246. Veterans are, after all, why we exist here at the VA. In fact, every day in the VA is Veterans Day as far as we're concerned. So it gives me and the dedicated staff of the Providence VA healthcare system great pride to honor the veterans that we serve. In fact, we have 37,000 veterans enrolled here at the Providence VA healthcare system. So good cadre of veterans. So we purposely picked this venue here outside just to demonstrate. You can see behind you, we're building a brand new mental health facility. Up to everyone's right, we're getting ready to open up our brand new hemodialysis center. So we're continuing to modernize everything here at the Providence VA to give the veterans the best care we can possibly give them for the sacrifices they've made for this great nation of ours. I do want to thank our distinguished guests for taking the time out of their very busy schedules today. Admiral Chatfield, thank you, ma'am, for coming up here. Senator Reed, Congressman Cicilline, Mr. Kasim Yarn, Ken Guru from the VBA, Cameron Bauer for Congressman Keating, and Andrew Zala from Senator Whitehouse's office. So thanks for joining us today. We do have a couple of cool things here today for your viewing pleasure. You can see behind us, we've got all the World War II vehicles, our color guard. Got to give a shout out to Peter Lombardo, Commander U.S. Navy, Mark McGrath, Staff Sergeant U.S. Army, Richard Ramirez, Sergeant U.S. Army for the color guard. Our fife player, Corporal Pam Burlingham, where you are, from the Patuxent Rangers. Where's Pam? She's out there somewhere. Special thanks to you. Our Musket Salute, which hasn't happened yet, but will happen. Stay tuned. Major Monique Ryan from the Gloucester Light Infantry, Private Kathy Potter, Sergeant Major Dennis Pacheco from the Patuxent Rangers. Color bearer, Sergeant Michael Cacciotti. The Civil War Cannon, Captain Philip Di Maria, Battery B from the Rhode Island Light Artillery. I just got to tell you about the cannon you see here in front of you. When they first told me we were going to have a cannon, I got pretty excited. I'm like, that's going to be awesome. We'll fire off that cannon in the parking lot. I said, no, Mr. Director, we can't fire off a cannon in the parking lot. I said, oh, yeah, the veterans. We don't want to upset the veterans. They go, no, it's got nothing to do with veterans. We'll set off every car alarm and house alarm in a 10-city block radius, so that's why we can't fire off the cannon. So we won't fire that off, but we will be firing some muskets today. And, of course, out to your rear there is Providence's finest, the Providence Police Mounted Patrol. Thanks for you guys showing up today. And last but certainly not least, Brigadier General Ed Valenti for all these cool military vehicles you see, which you'll be able to check out at the end of this. So be sure to check out these displays in honor of our veterans today. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Rhode Island's senior senator, a steadfast supporter of the Providence VA and the veterans of Rhode Island, a veteran himself, West Point graduate, Army Ranger, airborne, who served at the 82nd Airborne Division in the 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The 504th, if you didn't know, military history, their nickname is the Devil in Baggy Pants. And that was a true nickname given to them by the Germans in World War II because they were such ferocious fighters. Senator, before I bring you up, I just want to point out, I have in my pocket a coin from the 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment. If the senator doesn't have his coin, he has to buy drinks tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Rhode Island Senator Jack Reed.
Thanks, Larry.
I owe you a drink.
Well, thank you, Larry, for that gracious introduction, and it's an honor to be here to join you all. And let me first thank the director for all of his hard work and the entire staff of the Providence VA. I'm extraordinarily proud of the Providence VA. It is, I think, the best in the country. Because, and it's not just the technology, it's not just the facilities, it's the people. You cared very much about the veterans you serve, and I thank you for that. I also want to say how proud we are that you endured this pandemic so well, that you made special arrangements, you went out of your way to continue to provide that extraordinary service, so thank you. Let me recognize my colleagues. Admiral Chatfield, thank you, ma'am. Admiral Chatfield, I'm sure Larry will point that out, is the first female president of the Naval War College, so thank you, Admiral. And Congressman Cicilline, Director Yan, all of my colleagues in government, thank you so much. But most particularly to our veterans, to my fellow veterans, thank you for your patriotism, your self-sacrifice, your service, your courage. And not only you, but no one serves alone. Your families also. And I know that the hours and hours that they were sort of wondering and waiting and hoping that they'd see you again, and that's something that families go through. So thank you very much. Since the beginning of this country, The courage, the valor, the dedication, the self-sacrifice of men and women in uniform have sustained and inspired us. They continue to do so today. Americans in every generation have shown the way. In fact, when I go overseas and visit forces in all over the world, one of the impressions I have is that they're serving so well, first to protect their comrades, but second because they do not want to let down their predecessors, you men and women who went before, who set the example of courage and valor. So you are there with them, literally, supporting them and inspiring them. Now, again, I'm just so proud of this medical center for what you do and how you do it. And I have one final sort of tribute, and that is to Hilda Beauregard. Hilda was a yeoman second class in the United States Navy in World War II. And she will be, there's a rumor you're going to be celebrating your 100th birthday very soon. So today we especially recognize Hilda, and I have a citation. Let me turn it back to the director and let me present my citation. Thank you.
Thanks for doing that, Senator. That's pretty special. I'd also like to introduce another stalwart supporter of the Providence VA healthcare system and the veterans of Rhode Island, a former mayor of Providence, and currently our United States Congressman representing Rhode Island and Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman David Sisson. Thanks for coming.
Good morning. It's really a great honor to be here, and of course I want to acknowledge Senator Reid, our senior senator, and who most of Rhode Island considers a saint. So the idea that people describe him as a devil in baggy pants is news to, I think, all of us. To Director Connell, to Director Yarn, and of course to Admiral Chatfield, and to all the other dignitaries who are here. It's great to be with you. It's great to be with all of our wonderful veterans, and one of the greatest honors of my life is having the privilege of representing the great veterans community here in Rhode Island in Washington. And our delegation, of course, led by Senator Reid, always tries to do all that we can to be sure our veterans and the families of our veterans have the support and resources they need, both while they're serving and when their service has concluded. And we did that in the American Rescue Plan, importantly, and important support for the VA throughout this process. And as Senator Reid said, we have the best VA in the country, and it's not only because of the incredible facilities and the incredible care, but for the dedication of the personnel here at the VA. So let's give them their own big round of applause. This has been obviously a very challenging year for everyone, but I think particularly for older veterans, and the VA really stepped in the breach in a very significant way, and so we want to salute them again. We live in the greatest country in the history of the world, and we enjoy freedoms that most other people just wish for, and that's because of the sacrifice and the service of our men and women in uniform who have preserved our freedoms in difficult battles around the world. So although we celebrate Veterans Day, we bear the fruit or the benefits of the service of our veterans every single day we get to live in this great country. So thank you to our veterans. And when I arrived and they told me that was Hilda Beauregard, I said, I want to see her ID. There's no way she's 100 years old. But it seemed impolite. But we want to just say thank you for your service with the w.a.v.e, and thank you for being here today, and most importantly, happy birthday. And I too have a congressional citation acknowledging that.
Thanks, Congressman. Lastly, but certainly not least, I mean, the hits keep coming. We've got great speakers here today. Another VA ally and a very strong supporter of veterans. Our keynote speaker today is Rear Admiral Chatfield. I met the Admiral down at the War College, and we opened up vaccines for not just students of the War College, but international students, because our philosophy was, if you're inside the United States, then you need to get a shot. So we opened that up. And the Admiral was gracious enough to come up and thank our staff for doing that. So I found out later on she was a helicopter pilot, so we kind of clicked, and the rest was kind of history. Admiral Chatfield is the 57th president of the U.S. Naval War College. She's in fact the first female president, which I think is pretty cool. A career naval helicopter pilot. She was commissioned in 1988 and earned her wings of gold in 1989. I was 85, so I got you beat by just a little bit. But you made it a little bit further in your career than I did. In 1997, she received an MBA in Public Administration from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. In 2009, the University of San Diego conferred upon her a doctorate of education in leadership studies. Operationally, she was deployed in helicopter detachments to the Western Pacific and the Arabian Gulf. The Admiral was assigned as Deputy Executive Assistant to the Chief of Naval Operations, also known as the CNO, and that's the top person in the Navy. So that in of itself is a testament to what a professional you are. Not everybody gets that assignment. But another cool assignment she had was the military assistant to the Supreme Allied Commander in Europe in Shape, Belgium. Again, another great testament to your career. From 2001 to 2004, Admiral Chatfield served as an assistant professor of political science at the U.S. Air Force Academy. Admiral Chatfield has commanded at all levels, to include squadron and type wing commander and commander of a joint provincial reconstruction team in Afghanistan. Most recently, she commanded the Joint Regional Marianas from January 2017 until August 2019. And I know most officers don't like this, but I got to kind of brag about her awards. Include the Defense Superior Service Medal, the Bronze Star Medal, Legion of Merit, 2 of them, Meritorious Service Medal, the Joint Service Commendation Medal, Navy Commendation Medal, 3 awards, Army Commendation Medal, Air Force Commendation Medal, Joint Service Achievement Medal, the Navy Achievement Medal, and various unit awards. Please give a very warm welcome to Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield.
Larry, thank you. That was an exceptional introduction. I'm very humbled by it. Thank you so much. Well, I want to also welcome our distinguished elected representatives, all of our attendees here, and most importantly, Mrs. Hilda Beauregard and your family. I was asked today to speak about female veterans. And so it's in honor of you that I've prepared this speech and give these words. I'm honored and proud to stand before you as we celebrate Veterans Day and thank those brave men and women who have served our country with honor in peacetime and in war. This Veterans Day, I encourage all to remember those who have served and thank them for answering the call to serve their country. As I reflect on our veterans and the sacrifices they have made, I am grateful to all the men and women who support and who continue to serve our veterans throughout the VA system, and particularly those who serve in healthcare that provide such essential services and support to those who have served. Thank you for all that you do for our veterans. Your job is essential to ensuring that the United States is able to field the finest fighting force the world has ever seen. Our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardians, Coast Guardsmen can all serve selflessly, knowing that their country will continue to support them even after their time in uniform ends. And supporting veterans is not an easy task. Today, the veteran population is changing rapidly, as are the needs of our veterans, requiring an agile and responsive healthcare system to ensure that they receive the post-service care that they need. The fastest growing population in the veteran community is women, who through their talents and service are bringing needed change to the way we organize, the way we fight, and who consequently are impacting our requirements to bring care to our veterans. Women have played a unique and important role in our military throughout our history. From the very beginning of this American experiment, women have found a way to serve. In 1775, George Washington recognized the value that women brought to the Army and petitioned Congress to employ 1 nurse for every 10 patients in continental hospitals. Many of these brave women did more than just care for the sick, with some taking up arms in the heat of battle. With our nation fully mobilizing for World War II, significant changes came to the role women played both in society and in the military. As men across the country were called up to serve, many women filled the jobs that they vacated, including those that were traditionally reserved for men. Women also began to serve in greater capacity in the military, in traditionally gendered roles such as nursing and administrative support, like our yeomen present today. Women were enlisted and commissioned, allowing them to serve in uniform. Each branch of military service created a women's reserve or auxiliary force during the war years, and most were recognized or incorporated into the peacetime military in the years following the war, with the passing of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act in 1948. Other women served their country out of uniform. The Women's Air Force Service Pilots, or WASPs, were founded in 1943 when two separate women's flying squadrons, the Women's Flying Training Detachment led by Jacqueline Cochran, and the Women's Auxiliary Ferrying Squadron led by Nancy Harkness Love, merged into one organization. More than 25,000 women applied for training. Less than 2,000 were accepted. Of those, just under 1,100 completed the challenging training program with a success rate that exceeded their male counterparts. They ferried, tested, and delivered planes, performed check flights, towed targets for anti-aircraft gunnery practice, and trained male pilot candidates. They flew almost every type of military aircraft in the inventory and accumulated more than 60 million miles in flight distance in approximately 2 years that they existed. These pioneering women were my predecessors and helped make possible many of the achievements that women have accomplished today. And they laid that smooth path for my introduction into naval aviation. Between 1973, when the United States ended conscription, and 2010, the number of women serving in the enlisted ranks grew from 2% to 14%, a seven-fold increase. And the number of women serving as commissioned officers has quadrupled. Today, 16.5% of total active duty personnel and 19% of the Guard and Reserve personnel are women, proudly serving their country. This significant block of service personnel face nearly all the same health challenges as their male counterparts, and some additional ones. Women, additionally, often have had to deal with uniforms, equipment, and systems that were originally designed for their male counterparts. We have different anatomy, and the fit of those uniforms and that equipment was, at best, uncomfortable, and at worst, could cause injury or death. One WASP pilot during World War I told a story about how they were trained to bail out if anything went wrong in the aircraft. She replied, "The parachutes were way too big. They weren't fitted to us. You could actually slip out." As a result, some women pilots took more chances with mechanical malfunctions and continued on in flight in hopes that they could land safely rather than risk taking the decision to jump out of their airplane. Today, and in the recent past, women veterans have also encountered similar problems caused by ill-fitting body armor, having to deal with relief tubes and systems that were designed for men, and they have also experienced toxic exposure to elements which have caused reproductive complications and other health issues. And they also have experienced PTSD and other mental health issues. In addition to anthropomorphic issues, women face a number of health issues unique to our physiology. Women's health is a pressing issue today, and I was so pleased to learn that the VA has answered the call and is evolving to ensure that our female veterans receive the care that they need. From early breast cancer screenings to the Women's Veterans Call Center, to campaigns to improve the workplace environment for women veterans. Larry, you and your team have answered the call to expand the support you provide to meet the needs of all of our deserving veterans. At the Naval War College, we too are addressing these issues through our support to the United States Strategy on Women, Peace, and Security. That act was passed into law in 2017. It recognizes the diverse role women play as agents of change in preventing and resolving conflict, countering terrorism and violent extremism, and building post-conflict peace and security. This strategy is designed to increase women's meaningful participation and leadership in political and civic life by helping to ensure that they are empowered to lead and contribute and equipped with the necessary skills and support to succeed, and supported throughout by access to opportunity and resources. The Women, Peace, and Security Act of 2017 tasks the Department of Defense as one of the primary federal departments responsible for implementing this strategy, and accordingly, the Department of Defense has developed objectives to implement the national strategy. The first of these is to lead by example, as codified by the DoD Strategic Framework and Implementation Plan. The Department of Defense will exemplify a diverse organization that allows for women's meaningful participation across the development, management, and employment of the joint force. Our Naval War College in Rhode Island has been instrumental in attaining this first objective. We provide graduate education for senior officers across the joint force and provide a venue to explore and develop these ideas in the national strategy through symposium and classroom dialogue. Our professors work with military and academic institutions across the globe to ensure that our efforts are in step with our government, our laws, and our international partners to accomplish these objectives. I'm also pleased to report that we have recently hired a new chair for our long-standing Women, Peace, and Security program, and that Dr. Yamin will be dedicated full-time to integrating women, peace, and security issues and topics across all aspects of the core professional military education curriculum at our college, and will be coordinating and overseeing the efforts of our diverse and talented faculty toward the accomplishment of national and Department of Defense women, peace, and security objectives. My vision for this program is that it will expand to be ingrained into every course we teach, and it will affect every student who attends the Naval War College in any capacity. We continue to collaborate with other universities in Rhode Island and in New England to ensure that this vital topic receives the attention that it deserves and achieves its appropriate place in our military community and in our society. With all of our veterans, but particularly with our women veterans, we must every day continue to earn their trust, to ensure that they understand and believe that they are not forgotten, and that we will continue to take care of our own. We have seen homelessness, suicide, domestic violence, substance abuse, and other indicators that are rooted in the returning service members from our recent conflicts. Before we can treat the scars of war, we must make sure that we have the trust of these veterans. making sure that they have continued and reliable access to timely care. With that trust, we know that our nation will continue to provide the most talented young people into our service to preserve this peace and, if necessary, to fight and win our nation's wars. And we can do this together. Larry, your efforts at the Veteran Administration are no small part of this effort to help women worldwide, but particularly women in our community. By providing physical and mental health care, reproductive care, and a full spectrum of care for other women's issues, you are providing our women veterans with the support that they need to succeed. Thank you to you and your team. As we approach these issues as a whole of government, together we can succeed in empowering, enabling, and supporting women across the spectrum to reach their full potential. I'd like to thank you for offering me this opportunity to speak on the issue today, to give my thoughts, and to inform and educate you about our law that supports women, peace, and security. And above all, please accept my appreciation on behalf of the men and women of the United States Naval War College, a community that this Veterans Administration hospital services. Thank you for all that you do, and God bless all of our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, that was awesome. Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Admiral. That was a phenomenal speech. And because it was so phenomenal, on behalf of the awesome team here at the Providence VA Healthcare System, we'd like to present you with a gift. And this is this beautiful clock. We're going to present the Admiral, and I'll read the inscription. One flag, one land, one heart, one hand, one nation, evermore. Oliver Wendell Holmes. So on behalf of the team here at the VA Providence Healthcare System, thank you for all you've done. Thanks for coming up here, and we hope you enjoy this gift. Thanks. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Ed.
We'll now have a flag folding demonstration by our Providence VA Honor Guard. We'll then present the flag to Mrs. Hilda Geraldine Oliver Beauregard. Mrs. Beauregard enlisted in the Navy on December 29, 1942, during World War II. She served her country for 2 years and was honorably discharged as a yeoman second class on June 14, 1944. Additionally, Mrs. Beauregard will turn 100 years old on November 25th, which I think is Thanksgiving this year. Mrs. Beauregard, thank you for your service to your country, and we wish you a very happy birthday.
The flag of the United States, as we know it, with its 13 alternating red and white stripes, blue field, and a white star for each state, dates to 1777. Since that time, many symbolic meanings have been associated with our flag. For instance, it is said that the red symbolizes valor and hardiness, the white, purity and vigilance, the blue, perseverance and justice. Have you ever noticed how the honor guard at a military funeral pays meticulous attention to correctly folding the flag 13 times? You would be correct in thinking that each fold represents one of the original 13 states. But there are other meanings associated with each fold as well. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans who have departed our ranks and who gave a portion of their life for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature. As American citizens trusting in God, it is Him we turn to in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. In the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in her intercourse with foreign nations, may she always be right, but our country right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood and to mothers. For it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for He too has given His sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon and glorifies in the Hebrews' eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in the Christians' eyes God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. The 13th and last fold, when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God We Trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it has the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington, and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, and who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today. As you have seen, there are some traditions and ways of doing things that have deep meaning. In the future, you'll see flags folded, and you will understand the symbolism attached to the folds. Share this knowledge with the children you love and with all others who love our flag, the symbol of liberty and freedom. behalf of the President of the United States, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, all of us here at the Providence VA, we'd like to present to you this flag in honor of your loyal and dedicated service to our country. And please remember that every day here at Providence VA is Veterans Day. And happy birthday. Thank you so much. Very welcome.
We'll now have a musket salute. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for the benediction and the retiring of the colors.
I offer you the benediction. Thank you all for being with us to celebrate, remember, and honor those who served, sacrificed, and borne the battle. Now, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back, and may the sun shine warm upon your face. Until we meet again, in this life or the next, peace be with you.
Retire the colors. Ready? Retire. Forward. March.
This concludes our Veterans Day ceremony. Thank you all for coming. Please enjoy your Veterans Day.